Alright, so this is INKBOUND. Now, INKBOUND is a game that I have wanted to play for a while, ever since I saw it pop up on Steam, but it only came out recently. I've only played about an hour of it, but I thought I'd just do a quick, hopefully under 10-minute video and just showing you what INKBOUND is about and what you actually do in the game. The first thing you'll notice about INKBOUND when you first join is this hub world filled with tons of players. It's very MMO-esque, and it really caught me off guard when I first started playing, but I guess this is what the game wants you to do. It wants you to group up with players and be able to play together, and you can talk to people here. Of course, there's chat. And so I guess that's the goal of this homeworld. Also, there's a bunch of different NPCs in here for you to, do whatever. I haven't really learned about all of them, and to be honest, sometimes this hub world is a little bit confusing as to what does what and who does what, but yeah, it's not too bad. Looks good as well. But yeah, it really caught me off guard because this is super MMO-like, right? But it's in my co-op indie roguelike RPG, right? So this is where you finally enter the game. You do an unranked or a ranked dive. I know that there's differences, but I'm just going to do the ranked dive solo. I don't really know the differences. I can't really tell you. But yeah, we'll just hop into a ranked dive. So this is where you choose your run quest, which, just gives you a quest to complete in the run. And I think the runs are relatively long enough, so even if the quest has numbers that look pretty staggering, it should be pretty easy to complete them if you do the full run. Then you run along, and obviously you get kind of like choices before you start your run as to what you want. Get some upgrades, get some currency, and then you get a augment as well. And these augments affect your attacks, right? So having played about an hour of this, I'm going to go with the one on the right because I know that that's pretty useful. And then you can kind of pick your world. I believe this is where you pick your world. So I have a quest right now to enter Garden's Edge, so that's what I'm going to do. When you enter the run, essentially you have a choice as to where you want to go and what you want to get. So a Quilling Cage would be currency, and a Tarnished Vault would give you some other upgrades. So I'm going to choose that because I don't really care about the currency at the moment. And then you come over to the section of the map where the fight will take place. So you just click the middle, and then combat will begin. Now this is turn-based combat, if you weren't already aware, and you have some attacks that you can pull off and some things that you can do. One of the things you have to do in combat is maintain energy. So if you move over here to the power orb, it'll give you a bit more energy. But essentially these lines that are around my character right now dictate how much energy I'm going to use on a move. So if I move over here outside that little circle, that's 1 energy used. If I stay inside the middle, then I'll have full energy and I'll be able to use my attacks, all of which cost 1 energy at the moment. So I want to mark as many enemies as possible. So I think I'll move up here. And I'll just deal with these small guys if I could for a little bit. My dash goes that far, which is pretty good. Hopefully I can land outside that purple circle. Do that. And then we can instantly kill all 3 with my next attack. Then I still have 2 energy left. I don't think I can avoid taking damage from this guy. I think he's going to kill me wherever I move. Even if I move all the way out here. Yeah, he's still going to do damage to me no matter what. So if I throw 1 shuriken, if I get closer and throw 1 shuriken, he will die instantly. So maybe I have 2 energy left, so I can kind of move over here, avoid the purple circles, throw 1 shuriken, and then I'm not going to take any damage this turn. Then turn, they do their attacks, and you move until you finish the combat. You can also move with WASD if you wanted to get it more precise. So the mouse movements, it'll only get you so far. WASD is also an option if you want to get them a bit more precise. So obviously you have to kill all these enemies at some point. I'm just going to do my absolute best to finish this fight, and then we can move on. And obviously, once you finish the fight, you get your rewards. So you get the rewards of what you chose. This is kind of like your relics system. At least that's my understanding of it so far. So, you can choose whatever relic you want. And this is just another, various form of upgrade. You can restore HP. This is what I've noticed so far with this form of upgrade. You can either give yourself an upgrade, or you can restore HP. And obviously, HP is important in a roguelike, so it is very important in a roguelike. So, it's just something you have to weigh up. And you can see down in the bottom left that you have 5 slots for abilities. You're obviously going to get more as you progress in the run. You can also upgrade these ones as well. Alright, so for this combat, I believe this 450 HP enemy is purely just currency. It doesn't do any damage, and if you kill it, you just get currency. So I'm not going to focus on it. I'm just going to focus on the big boy here and do as much as I can. I'm going to grab the power orb and move over here a bit out of his line of sight. So as you can see, when I move in, I'm going to take 5 damage. When I move out, I'm not going to take 5 damage. And so, it's a pretty simple understanding there. But I am going to sit here and see if I can mark him while also getting out of the range of his attack, which I can. And I'm going to attack him. I'm going to use that as well. And then I'm going to use my final attack. And that's a decent amount of damage. And I still have 1 extra energy left over as well. So I have to be very careful of his little minions. And I believe that if I killed the main boss, that the minions would despawn, but this guy's the problem for me right now. So I'm still going to focus on the little minions though. Pick up a power orb, and when you pick up the power orb, the circle on the ground that, you know, wastes movement changes, or waste energy changes. So now I can sit here and be totally fine. I could dash immediately, but I think what I'm going to do right now is just use my basic attack, because that should kill him after 2, and then I need to, you know, somehow try and avoid or kill as many of these guys as I can without, you know, taking too much damage. I think I can achieve that. That's probably the best way to do it. Just take half damage. Clean. What I will say is that the actual combat moves are very satisfying. Like, I actually really do love them. I think they've got the sound design, the animations, and all the, you know, the hit effects correct. I think they're really satisfying. But this is the combat, essentially. It's actually really good in terms of turn-based combat. I really like the dynamics of it. At least in my first hour, I really, you know, can't do much but praise it. So I did enough damage to that guy for him to just bleed out, which is brilliant. I'm just going to pick that up now so I have enough to deal with as many of these guys as I can. Thinking that seems reasonable for now, at least. We get a bit of a level up as well. Probably go like that as well, and then do even more damage. Should I move, actually? I can. I have so much willpower, I could just move like that. Take these 2 guys out pretty easily like that. And then just do some damage to him, finish him off even. And now I take 0 damage. One of the things that I might, you know, be able to criticize quite fairly. I'm playing solo right now, but, you know, I'm being given a co-op augment, co-op binding. And, you know, while I think that obviously they want to have an emphasis on co-op, I feel like this is a bit unfair because it just removes one of my options, because I'm not playing co-op, you know. I believe that the game is scaled for me as a solo player, but I'm not playing co-op, and to be given this is kind of a kick in the butt. Alright, boss fight. I'll go through this, and then no matter how far I go on the run, I'll just go back to base, and I'll show you the kind of progression that you can go through. Don't want to keep this video too long, so I'll just get to the good parts, and yeah, let's see if we can beat this boss. I think obviously what I want to start out doing, if I move in here, I'm going to take damage. If I stay out though, because I have stacks of evasiveness, I believe, from one of my vestiges, I could probably just go back into the middle here, dash out of the range, mark him, and then of course, maybe I'll do that even. What's going to do the most damage? Big attack like that. Might give him some frostbite. And then I'm out of options now, out of mana, so we'll just end the turn. Obviously, though, you can tell he's a bit tankier. Alright, we did it. One important thing to mention, if you're just starting out, poison stacks, from what I can tell, poison stacks, bleed stacks, they happen after the enemy has attacked. So that's the only reason I took damage from the boss there, and then the boss died. Just important to keep in mind, because some games do it the opposite way, so yeah. So in terms of progression, I died and I got season level, season XP. I don't believe there is a battle pass at the moment in the game because it's in early access, but eventually there will be one. I think there's probably some controversy surrounding that, given that you're paying 30 bucks or whatever for a game, and then they're introducing a battle pass. And, you know, obviously there's a bit of animosity there. Here's your rank. I don't know how to progress that or how ranking system works yet, but there's one there if you want it. These are quests. There are daily quests, seasonal quests, and then obviously story quests as well as aspect quests. Now, aspect quests, this is for the character that I've used mainly. Essentially, it's just use the upgrades that you get in the run once, and you'll get a tick mark next to it. So kind of like the Hades quest thing. I forgot what it's called, but you have to use those aspects in the run, and then you get a tick mark next to it, and you get a reward after using all of them. And yeah, and then obviously there's a bunch of other quests with a bunch of other different rewards. Mainly, I would imagine you're unlocking vestiges and upgrades and things that will then appear in your run. But obviously with the seasonal quests, you're getting seasonal XP, and yeah. There's also milestones here. I don't know the context behind these milestones, but they look pretty general, and they give you season XP as well. Obviously, you can check out your collection here as well. So yeah, these are all the vestiges that I currently have unlocked. Obviously, have a lot more to do. There's 10 pages of these things, so and I haven't unlocked, or I've unlocked one, I guess, legendary vestige, so, or 3 of them. So yeah, lots of work to do, I suppose. I think as I'm running around this home base here, there's a lot of NPCs here that currently won't talk to me, that I will probably get to talk to and progress with once I've completed the story quest. So for example, you see I have to enter Garden's Edge one more time, and then that's my story quest, so I'm gonna have to progress that. I'm sure a lot of these NPCs will talk to me, and there'll be different forms of progression for you to go through after you're able to talk to them. For example, there's a tinkerer over here, and I'm sure, you know, usually the tinkerers has something to do with items or armor or, you know, whatever, right? So I'm sure there's some progression to do with him, but for right now, this is basically INKBOUND. I actually think it has a lot of potential, and if you're into co-op games, if you're into turn-based stuff, I even think if you're not into turn-based stuff, this is probably going to be fun with friends, just because the combat is a lot more visceral than in other turn-based combat games that I've played, especially roguelikes. I think it'd actually be really worth your time checking out. And I'm happy to have purchased it, and I can't wait to get some friends into it if I can. But yeah, until then, I will see you next time.